History's headlines recalls the strike of 1941 at Bethlehem Steel.
It wasn't the first strike, and it wouldn't be the last, but it was memorable for many reasons.
And now Pathé News brings you the pictures of the actual riot at plant number 9. Here are strike sympathizers attempting to get at those inside the plant who fought sit-down strikers.
It got ugly in Michigan in 1936 and 37 when auto workers there went on strike against General Motors. The labor dispute made national headlines. Just a few years later, it would be Bethlehem Steel in the spotlight when workers there organized a strike of their own.
It began on March 24th. Of 1941, almost from the first, was a violent strike.
It was not the first strike at Bethlehem Steel Mills. Workers had walked out in 1910 and again in 1919. But by 1941, they were still asking for better working conditions, higher wages, and union representation. The Steelworkers Organizing Committee called the strike, and by 11 p.m. that first night, there were some 2,500 strikers, revelers, and women and children at the company's main gate.
The Bethlehem Police Force and the state police were called in to break up the strike. Some of them were very good about it, some of them were not.
The peaceful picket turned violent after tear gas was lobbed into the crowd. Cars were overturned, windows smashed. The governor declared a state of emergency in Bethlehem. State and federal mediators were brought in to help bridge the gap between the workers and Bethlehem Steel's CEO.
Eugene Grace realized that the best thing for him to do was to at least negotiate or begin the process of negotiation.
On March 28, 1941, it was announced the deal had been reached to end the strike. Perhaps the biggest win, Bethlehem Steel agreed to continue to engage in collective bargaining with its employees. A year later, the Steelworkers Organizing Committee, operating as the new United Steelworkers of America, negotiated the first union contract with Bethlehem Steel.